Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Even going all the way back to Genesis chapter 1, we find that when the Lord imparts life, he expects it to expand and to multiply. When we were reading in Genesis chapter 1, we read about even the plants. When the Lord produced the plants that were full of life, he created these plants that were yielding seed after their kind. And then also when he created the animals, he created them in such a way that they would be fruitful and multiply. And then also with humans, he imparted life to us humans. And again, it was for the purpose, or one of the things that they were to do was to be fruitful and to multiply and fill the earth. And what the Lord imparts life to, he expects that life to multiply and to expand. And we see this in our reading today in Luke chapter 13, where the Lord talks about the mustard seed and then also the leaven. He talks about the kingdom being like that small mustard seed that's planted into the ground and then grows up into a large tree. But it's also like that small little bit of leaven that spreads into the whole lump of dough until it's all leavened. The idea there being that the kingdom was planted for the purpose of growing and expanding. And as we think about that, the Lord has imparted life to us. In Ephesians chapter 2, we're told that, while we were dead in our trespasses and sins, God has made us alive through Christ. And we have received life through Jesus Christ, resurrected life, we could say. And that's been given to us. We now have become spiritually alive before God, where we were once dead because of the fact that we had sinned against the Lord. Now we are alive, and God has imparted to us life, and we could even say eternal life. And so, where the Lord imparts life, he wants to see multiplication and expansion. And that's true even in our individual lives. That life that the Lord has given to us ought to expand in our hearts and in our minds. That is, it might just begin as a seed. We hear the gospel and we receive the gospel as a seed, and it imparts life to us as we accept the gospel. But it's not to stop there. It is to spread as we learn more and more about God, as we get more and more into his word, as we become more and more committed to his cause. That little seed that was planted in us is to grow. And that life that was connected to that seed is to grow within our hearts until we are overflowing with life. Life that's overflowing. And then not only that, but we could think about what the Lord is talking about here in these parables, in that we should also see that the church begins to multiply. That as we are tending to the seed within our hearts individually, and as that seed grows and as we become full of life and we grow and mature spiritually, it ought to be that overflows then into the expansion of the kingdom, and that the kingdom of Christ will expand all the more on this earth as we allow the life imparted to us by Christ to have its full effect. And so let's be intent on first allowing the seed of the kingdom to grow in our hearts as we more and more submit ourselves to the Lord, as we give him more and more space within our hearts in submission to him. But then also let's let that outflow into the people that we come into contact around us as we open up our mouths and speak the wonderful words of life to others, so that they too can receive this life and the kingdom of heaven can expand all the more. So that's our encouragement today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.